rather more seriously, I would say, this same body, the UK Health Security Agency, I find this extraordinary. They are on record as saying that they don't want to release data about the COVID jab and whether or not it was linked to excess deaths. Now, you and I have discussed excess deaths and we discussed the COVID jab and what's happened abroad many, many, many times. But they have been accused of a cover-up after they argued that releasing the data would lead to, and this is mind-blowing, distress or anger of bereaved relatives if a link were to be discovered. So we, the public in Britain, are not allowed to know the data that could show a link between the jab people were, let's face it, bullied and lied to take in many cases, and it's a possible link to excess deaths from the jab, not from COVID, because it might make us upset if it's true. That is an extraordinary stance for them to take, isn't it?
I don't think people quite get the sort of issues at hand here. But first, let's just say transparency is the antidote of conspiracy.
Always.
Donald Trump has now found that out with the Epstein files. He knows if he doesn't release it, they'll just carry on and on. So we have a system here now says we're using the Freedom of Information Act, which looks like a cover-up. Importantly, they say withholding the data that may link the COVID jab to excess death, said the Telegraph. Now, that's possible. And if we don't get the data out there, how are people interpret what's going on? Yep. Importantly, number one, the data belongs to the public. They're the people who had the vaccine. Therefore, it's important that they get the truth and know the truth.
And pharmaceutical companies have been given the data, haven't they?
Yeah, and look, this is an evidence-based approach. If you release redacted versions, you can aggregate or anonymise the data which they've asked for, and you can provide summary statistics. So, for instance, you go in 0 to 5-year-olds, here's the numbers. In doing so, that gets rid of all the issues about data handling. Yeah. So there's something wrong now at the core of our government agencies and what I call the establishment that is letting the public down. And if people want to understand the mess we're in, this is why. Yeah.
Because this is the thing, if there's no data linking it, and if the data is really clear there wasn't an increase, there were other things that were happening at the time, and that's why there's no link, well, show it to us and we'll report. I'm genuinely completely open-minded on this issue. We know that all jabs have some negative effects, and if you give a jab to loads and loads and loads of people, millions of people, you're going to have some people who sadly are going to get ill and are going to die. But again, the circumstances in which people felt forced to have the jab, some for their jobs, and to carry on having a normal life, and the lies that we were told about what it would do and who it would save. But if that has caused excess deaths, we have a right to know, full stop, nothing to discuss.
I'm not open-minded anymore, Julia, because last year we spent 900 million on COVID vaccines. Yeah. We have a right to know whether they make a difference or not, and in what populations, and if they're harming.
And why would they not want to give us that information? That's the thing that worries me.
So they want to give it across the board. They won't let you see the procurement, the Tron contracts, how much we've actually paid for it. Yep. They won't let you see the data they're built on. From the first day somebody has a vaccine, we need to know what happens. Yep. In doing so, we now have a core problem. Yep. The public doesn't trust the government and its agencies anymore. And it's right to do so if it's not transparent.
And quite rightly so, indeed. Carl Heneghan, thank you so much. Very much appreciate you joining us, as always.